Using scratch-off lottery tickets as an incentive for marriage? Yes, you heard that right. China's push for marriage takes a new twist. According to news from Xi'an released on February 27th, the Civil Affairs Bureau of Xi'an launched the Creating Happy Relationships, Sharing Blessings activity starting from March 1st. The initiative aims to further enhance the sense of marriage ceremony and achievement for newlyweds. Under this program, each newlywed couple obtaining a marriage certificate in Xi'an will receive a free scratch-off lottery ticket worth 10 yuan as a gift. This initiative has sparked widespread discussions across Chinese social media platforms. Many people voiced their opinions on the matter. Some commented, "The Civil Affairs Bureau is playing it smart, but who would get married for a mere 10 yuan scratch-off? If you want to incentivize people, offer a house worth 1,000,000 yuan, then let's see who rushes to the altar. Do they think we're lacking in scratch-offs? Don't they understand what we truly need?" Others caution against being swayed by small benefits, while some question the source of funding for these lottery tickets. In recent years, the phenomenon of young adults delaying or avoiding marriage altogether has become increasingly prominent in China, leading to a steep decline in first-time marriages. In response, the Chinese government has ramped up efforts to promote marriage. On August 24, 2023, it was announced that couples in Zhejiang's Changshan County would receive a cash reward of 1,000 yuan upon marriage, with a condition that the bride must be 25 years old or younger. The county explicitly stated in its announcement that the cash reward aims to promote timely marriage and childbearing. However, this move was met with ridicule from the Chinese public. Comments flooded in, with many joking, "Do I have to make dumplings for the sake of this bit of sauce? I was scared. I thought it was 10 million. We, the 90s generation, support the national policy of late marriage and late childbirth. Some even said, "I'm already over 26, past the age limit for rewards, so I'm not getting married." Furthermore, the Chinese government has employed various media channels to propagate the importance of marriage. As early as the 2021 CMG Spring Festival Gala, a skit about urging marriage was featured, constantly instilling this concept into the public consciousness. However, the dialogue often struck a nerve with viewers, with many finding the humor inappropriate and the messages preachy. For instance, lines like, "Being single is like being a dog. If marriage is bad, why do some people marry 3 times? Missed the mark for many." An article published on Sina pointed out the unfriendly nature of such skits, noting that many young people already feel pressured by societal expectations regarding marriage. Instead of providing lighthearted entertainment, these programs inadvertently contribute to familial pressure for marriage. Moreover, the choice of dialogue has been deemed inappropriate by many. According to the China Statistical Yearbook of 2023, compiled by the National Bureau of Statistics of China, the number of first-time marriages in 2022 stood at 10.5 million, marking a decrease of 1.1 million from 2021 and a 9.2% decline from the previous year. This marks the first time in many years that the number of first-time marriages has fallen below 11 million, hitting a 38-year low. Examining historical data, 2013 saw the peak of first-time marriages in China, with 23.9 million individuals tying the knot. Since then, the number has steadily decreased, with a 56% drop in first-time marriages over the past 9 years. Data from the China Population Employment Statistics Yearbook 2023 reveals that the unmarried rate among individuals aged 25 to 29 is 51%, while for those aged 30 to 34, it stands at 18%, and for those aged 35 to 39, it's 8%. Notably, the unmarried rate for those aged 30 and 31 exceeds 20%, reaching 28% and 24% respectively. Moreover, the average age of first-time marriages in China has been steadily increasing, with the China Population Census Yearbook 2020 reporting an average age of 28.7 years old in 2020, a 3.8-year increase from 2010. According to the Family Marriage Report 2023, the number of registered marriages in China halved from 13.5 million pairs in 2013 to merely 6.8 million pairs in 2022. By the end of 2022, the number of eligible single men and women in China had soared to 240 million, accounting for 17% of the total population, reaching a historic high. This trend signifies a continued decline in the desire to marry among young adults. On February 12th this year, Chinese official media outlet Zhejiang Publicity published an extensive article titled, "Do Young People Really Not Want to Get Married?" The content states that during the Chinese New Year, the annual elaborate matchmaking drama reached its climax. It highlights the pressures faced by single young adults, with parents urging them to settle down with phrases like, "Establish a family before pursuing a career," "How old do you think you are, and you're still single?" Or, "Stop being so picky, you'll end up with what's left," or, "If you don't get married, I won't be able to show my face in front of relatives and friends." Many unmarried individuals express feeling overwhelmed by the well-meaning but persistent pressure from their parents. The article delves into the reasons why young people are reluctant to marry, citing factors such as a desire for individual independence, the obstacles posed by the cost of marriage and relationships, and the influence of internet culture. It also notes a growing societal acceptance and understanding of young people choosing diverse paths in life, with marriage and childbirth no longer seen as obligatory milestones. However, the narrative shifts to advocating for marriage, portraying it not only as a personal matter, but also a national affair. This perspective has sparked outrage among the wider Chinese public. Comments flooded in, saying, "Bunch of nonsense. Normal living costs are burdensome. Can't afford to get married. Look at the economy. Look at housing prices. Look at drug prices. Look at school districts. Are you really naive or pretending? To marry or not is one's own decision. To have children or not is one's own choice." Originally advocated late marriage and late childbirth, or even single child. Now promoting early marriage and early pregnancy. Social pressure needs to be borne by everyone. It's all talk and no action. Regarding the drastic decline in first-time marriages in China, Henqing Li, an economist living in the United States, once told overseas media, the Epoch Times, that this is a global issue. Countries like Japan, South Korea, and some Southeast Asian countries are facing the same problem. However, in China, there is another obvious reason, which is economic pressure, including dowries, housing prices, and other issues, scaring many young people from getting married, and these problems did not exist 2 decades ago. He mentioned that when he was young, the demand for dowries from the bride's family was minimal, almost non-existent, but now the demands in this regard are very high, with many families asking for exorbitant dowries. According to Henqing Li, the issue of dowries has become a significant problem nowadays. People often say, "I've raised my children for so many years, I must get this money back." Or in cases where there is a son and a daughter in the family, they feel obligated to use the daughter's dowry to find a wife for the son. This is a major social problem. Additionally, in urban areas, the prerequisite for marriage is having a house and a car. Henqing Li explained that without a house, there is no marriage prospect, so there is a strong pressure to buy a house. However, with the current economic downturn, the pressure of spending a fortune to buy a house is immense, causing many young people to hesitate about marriage. In addition to the aforementioned reasons, experts believe that the reluctance of young people to marry is actually caused by China's disastrous family planning policy. Chinese issues expert Wang He, in an interview with the Epoch Times, analyzed why there are fewer people of marriageable age now. It is because of the Chinese government's enforcement of the one-child policy, which has disrupted the natural balance and structure of population. This is the reason why there are so few people of marriageable age compared to history. Secondly, there is a gender imbalance. Due to the one-child policy, during its implementation, traditional factors led to a preference for having boys. This resulted in the abortion of female infants, leading to tens of millions more men than women. Thirdly, China's current culture of having children and the notion of family have been disrupted. Wang He pointed out, traditionally, the family is a person's last resort, a haven. But the problem in China now is the destruction of traditional family culture. It has become more of a nuclear or atomized family structure. The various ties between people, between parents and children, have become very weak. Coupled with some abnormal social trends, many people have become anti-marriage. They can indulge themselves but simply refuse to get married. These are all seen as social anomalies. Wang He believes this society's traditional values are disintegrating and the social family is disintegrating. This is a terrible thing. Of course, economic factors also play a role, but they are not the main ones. The main issue is a change in people's ideological concepts, leading to moral decline. On one hand, there is a low willingness to marry, while on the other hand, there is a skyrocketing divorce rate. According to a report by NetEase News, based on statistical data, China's divorce rate has been significantly increasing since 1982, rising from 0.2% in 1978 to 3.4% in 2019, a 17-fold increase. It has now surpassed Japan and South Korea, with a ratio of divorces to marriages exceeding 50%. According to observations from the Marriage Industry Watch, in the first quarter of 2023, the nationwide divorce registration in China reached 641,000 couples. Compared to the first quarter of 2022, this number represents an increase of 127,000 couples. In 2024, the number of divorces continues to soar. Network videos show that on February 18th, in a city in Henan province, the Civil Affairs Office's divorce window was filled with people waiting for divorce on the first day of work after the new year. Furthermore, several videos released on February 18th and 19th, 2024, depict people queuing up to get divorced in a certain city in China. Netizens commented alongside the videos, expressing that the increasing number of divorces begs the question, what is the meaning of marriage anymore? In recent years, the divorce rates in most provinces and cities nationwide have been showing an increasing trend, with economically developed cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Chongqing leading the nation in divorce rates. Why is the divorce rate in China on the rise? Regarding this question, an analysis published by Xi'an titled, "The Real Reasons Behind the Increasing Divorce Rate in China," pointed out that marriages in China have long been ensnared by material interests. There is a lack of shared values and determination to strive forward in life as a couple. From the outset, marriage is seen as a union of interests. More people now consider prenups, anticipating potential breakdowns. Additionally, both parties prioritize their own feelings, interests, and security, believing they can find something better after divorce. Another factor is financial instability. Without financial stability, all personal flaws are magnified, eventually becoming intolerable to each other. Experts believe that the changing views on marriage among Chinese people are the fundamental cause of marital breakdowns. Yuan Li, a Chinese history expert and former associate professor at Capital Normal University, stated in an interview with overseas Chinese media that since the Chinese Communist Party took power, traditional culture has been eroded. Nowadays, marital relationships are more about material desires and external conditions, lacking the commitment and perseverance seen in the past. There is a prevalent notion that divorce is normal, even encouraged in literary works. However, the fundamental issue lies in people's commitment in considering matters from the other person's perspective. On the other hand, the negative consequences of Chinese Communist Party culture have also contributed to this situation. The dialectical materialism and conflict theory of the Chinese Communist Party permeates various aspects of life, including marital relationships, emphasizing conflict rather than harmony. Under the influence of communist culture, even minor conflicts within families can escalate, leading to extreme situations and contributing to marital breakdowns. Zhu Xinxin, an independent Chinese commentator, pointed out that while traditional principles were once respected, modern society has become increasingly secularized, resulting in changed attitudes towards marriage. In traditional marriages, responsibilities extended beyond the individuals to encompass families and society, requiring more considerations. However, there are fewer considerations nowadays. She thinks that modern people lack patience and tolerance in marriages. Divorce seems like a relief, but it doesn't necessarily bring happiness. Some emotional experiences can only be gained through deeper marital relationships. With low intentions to marry among young people and high divorce rates, a serious problem arises. The birth rate is plummeting. According to data released by the National Bureau of Statistics on January 17, 2024, the total number of births in China in 2023 was 9 million, a decrease of 5.7% from the previous year. This represents a decrease of 540,000 births compared to the 9.56 million births recorded in 2022, with the birth rate hitting a historic low. Concurrently, the total number of deaths increased by 6.6%, reaching 11.1 million people, with the mortality rate reaching its highest level since 1974. Reuters reported that China's one-child policy and rapid urbanization from 1980 to 2015 have led to higher costs of childbirth, resulting in a continuous decline in China's birth rate for decades. The United Nations predicts that by 2050, China's population will decrease by 109 million, a figure more than 3 times higher than the prediction made in 2019. As birth rates decline, both public and private maternity hospitals in China are facing survival crisis. Some maternity hospitals have declared bankruptcy or closed down, while others face revocation or mergers of departments. According to the China News Weekly, the number of deliveries at Beijing Chaoyang Maternal and Child Health Hospital dropped from nearly 5,800 in 2016 to just over 2,000 in 2021, a reduction of more than half. Jiangang Lu, a physician at a private tertiary hospital in Hangzhou, said that the number of deliveries in his hospital has nearly halved compared to a few years ago. He worked at a public maternity hospital before 2013, but by 2022, the maternity ward occupancy had dropped by about 20%. According to Jiangang Lu, the obstetrics department of Huzhou Maternal and Child Health Hospital in Zhejiang Province, Huzhou City, has 3 floors. One floor was closed in 2022, and half the obstetrics department in Hangzhou Second Hospital has been shut down. Furthermore, kindergartens are also affected. NetEase reported that kindergartens across China face closures in the summer of 2023. In August 2023, the Education Bureau of Linquan County in Fuyang Anhui Province announced that 50 private kindergartens would be closing. In September, 17 private kindergartens in Longhai District of Jiangzhou in Fujian Province applied for closure. In November, 33 private kindergartens in Haikou, Hainan applied for shutdown. Even first-tier cities like Shanghai saw 33 kindergartens close in 2023. Residents with household registration in Haidian District, Beijing, made note of this because their children could not enroll in kindergarten due to the closures, and they had to send them to the ones 50 miles away. As is well known, kindergartens are just the beginning. From this point forward, right up to universities, there will be problems with a shortage of students. In fact, in an attempt to stem the decline in the birth rate, the Chinese government has started to change its policies in recent years, transitioning from the initial family planning to encouraging childbirth, from allowing the second child to allowing the third child. Even policies such as extending maternity leave, increasing paternal leave, issuing childbirth subsidies, and exempting personal income tax have been implemented to encourage childbirth, but they have had little effect as the fertility intentions of the eligible population continue to decline. Yet local governments in China continue to use various means to encourage childbirth. On the occasion of the Qixi Festival, which is known as Chinese Valentine's Day in 2023, the Health Commission of Xi'an, Shanxi Province, sent mass texts urging marriage and childbirth. Many netizens commented that they received late text messages which said, "On the occasion of Qixi Festival, may your love be sweet, and may you marry and bear children at the right age, promoting the prosperity of the Chinese nation and sharing the responsibility of national rejuvenation." In response, some people sarcastically said, "They are panicking because they've run out of people for fleecing, so they urge you to give birth. And if there are also social responsibilities, then provide half the money for us to raise the kids, okay?" Someone said, "Lower the housing prices first before talking about childbirth. What are they thinking?" In this regard, Chinese-American writer Sheng Shui once said in an interview with overseas Chinese media that the Chinese Communist Party has adopted various measures to promote childbirth, even enacting unexpected policies indicating its significant predicament on population issues. However, regardless of the means used, it is probably impossible to achieve the expected goals, as many people have recognized the brutality of the Chinese Communist Party's rule and refused to become its so-called human minds, hence declining to marry and have children.